Guys, I wanted to open up my leftovers at the beginning instead of at the end.
You that hungry?
Pretty much. Yeah, I've only eaten once today. It was good, though. Baja's Tacos. It was good.
Ooh.
But anyway, Slam Ball is making a comeback.
I
Did you
saw
guys see
it.
that? Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Holy blown Achilles.
It should just be an Olympic sport already. What are we waiting for? I don't know. We'll see.
It's
though.
way better than
Should be
badminton.
fun.
Sounds like something I would play.
You should play. You'll have one good game, and that's it.
Welcome to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast with your tippers, Matt, Disfatt-Bidge.
These are just our tips, so take them easy, take them hard. It's up to you.
Ryan, the Tagless Haynes,
Most bizarre Haynes brief that there's ever been.
and Matt, I, or Regan.
Yeah, I hear you. And I definitely would take the shot on it because you'd be dumb not to.
Coming to you from the heart of New England. Get ready to take some tips.
Welcome in, takers, to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast. Us tippers are very excited to be with you. We are going to get into our QB leftovers, QB battle. We're going to get into some training camp news, preseason, hard knock news. Nah, never mind. There's nothing to talk about with hard knocks. Probably all seen that. So, pretty excited though, guys. 23 days until NFL kickoff. We just had our League of Extraordinary Men draft this weekend, so it was great to see you guys in person. That was a lot of fun. I had the best draft, not according to the Yahoo grades, but
Yeah, not even close.
in my projections. But IR Regan, how you doing?
Great. And I think my team was the best. Just saying. It literally is. I went so crazy compared to what I normally do. I honestly enjoyed myself.
A little bit too much.
Hey, I got a little bored and
You did.
drunk at the end.
Not at the table, Carlos. Ryan, the Tagless Haynes with us. Ryan, how tight is your waistband after this weekend?
Oof. So tight, dude. So tight. We had We had two. What are those? Like 2 foot long sandwiches going. We had all kinds of good
Those
stuff.
are 4
had your
feet
famous.
long.
Is that what it was? I don't know.
They're huge.
They're 4-footers.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andy for hosting, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. You had your famous
The hell?
bacon, your BLT pasta.
BLT pasta salad. It is famous. World famous, world renowned. But enough about that. Guys, we have a taker sending out the signal for us. A big tip in the sky. Pinto,
Must have been
he
mine.
has a fantasy question. Magnified by 10 times. That's it. So you can see it across New England.
light.
It's good enough. But anyway, Pinto has a keeper question for us. Ryan, what do we got? Or Regan, rather. What do we have?
Yeah. So a little mailbag from via the text message. So he's got a fancy question for us. It's more of a keeper question. He's got a 10-person PPR league. He's the 9th pick overall. He has necessarily 3 keepers that you can keep. So CMC in the 1st, Debo in the 5th, or Pittman in the 8th. Now, this league changes over every 5 years, so you only can keep a guy for 5 years. It's already been something like 2 years in this league, so he's got this year and then 2 years afterwards. So at the end of it, Pittman, he's at 8, so eventually it would be like a 2nd overall pick and at the end of it. So not too shabby. I don't see him ever being a 2nd-round pick, but you never know. So really what he's looking for is what's the best value and what do you guys think he should do? So I told him, the first thing I told him was just pay attention because this is a 10-person league. So all the ADPs that he's looking at is not as accurate as you think it is because those are all based on 12-team leagues. So it's a little skewed when you're looking at that. So you're actually getting them a little bit earlier than you think. So just to throw it out there, CMC, he's averaging like the 103, and he would be getting them at the 109. Debo averaging about the 207. These are all I actually did the math for the 10-team leagues, and he's getting them at the 509. And then Pittman he's getting at the 802, but his average is the 409. So that's definitely the biggest gap. Debo's pretty enticing. And then CMC, I told him, I was like, you got to lean CMC just because you get him in the first round. That's where he's going anyways. But if you got to think about it, he's going to be getting, I'm trying to think, Joe Mixon. Like if he's throwing CMC back into it, there's going to be plenty of keepers there in general in that first round.
That was my question to you, Reeks, is what are his league mates doing? Because I think that's the biggest question here. So if league mates are kind of trending in the same direction where they're looking at like biggest gap, and those are the players that they're taking, then there's probably going to be a lot of running backs still available in the first round. And at that point, I think it's probably Pittman. So he's just got to kind of be aware of like what everybody else is doing as well, who they're keeping. Because now if everybody's keeping running backs, then it might make sense to keep CMC at 109 because who's going to be there at 109? Is it going to be Fournette? Is it going to be Connor? Is that a great first round pick? I don't know. So just being aware of what your league mates are, who they're keeping and kind of using that to help your strategy. I think that's a really good way to go about it.
Yeah, and to answer that, so I don't know if he knows exactly what they're going to keep, but what he could do is look at the past seasons, see if he can tell who they were keeping last year, the year before, what was kind of their tendencies would really help out. So I think in general, though, in that first round, if you're not keeping CMC, you're still going to get a very good player at that 109. It's only 9 players. You're going to get somebody good. So with the the worrisomeness of CMC and the injury risk and whatever, I'm kind of more inclined to pass on him at the 109, get somebody else at a better value. Well, not a better value, but that you're a little bit more confident in lasting a whole season. The word is at Patriots camp that CMC did look very good though. So that was Dietrich Wise got threw that out there, that little tidbit. So Mac, let me throw it to you. So CMC in the first, Debo in the 5th, Pittman in the 8th. Do you lean anywhere right away?
Yeah. Well, first off, anybody looks good. I would look good against the Patriots defense right now.
Wow.
Not true.
But I would pass on CMC because he can keep Debo for a couple more years. I would take him in the 5th because, as we don't realize it because of Cup overshadowing Debo's point scoring, he scored 300 total points last year. He's locked up with his contract in San Fran. We don't know who the quarterback will be next year for Pittman.
True.
If they're going to go rookie. And then CMC, like you said, injury waiting to happen. He could very well drop to him at the end. You got to know your league. So 3 of the guys are keeping their first round pick. He could very well get McCaffrey back at 9 and keep Debo. It could happen. I've seen crazy stuff happen, Ryan.
No, he's right. And maybe he might not get CMC, but he might get a guy like Najee Harris or whatever.
Dalvin Cook. Somebody.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's not bad at 109 when you're already stacking him with Debo in the 5th when he's going in the 2nd in a 10-team league. So it's really based on what he's thinking. If he thinks he can win now or in the next 2 years, get Debo. But if he wants to do the long term, Pittman's not the worst pick. I just don't like Debo. He scares me. I think last year was kind of a fluke on that 300 points. I think that's a lot. He's got a new quarterback. He has obviously an injury risk from past. Yet last year, yes, I totally agree. He killed it all season throughout, which was amazing. Definitely a star player, and you're still getting him at a great value. So I think we're on agreement that it's not CMC.
So I guess how you'd have to look at it too is like those pairings that you're talking about, Reek. So would you rather have, say, like a McCaffrey and like a Juju in the 8th, or a McCaffrey and a Sutton in the 5th, or Dalvin, Debo, Dalvin and Michael Pittman, or Joe Mixon, Michael Pittman, Joe Mixon, Debo? Like those are the pairings you have to look at.
Correct. It's a good way to put it.
I don't want to give up my turn advantage either. I want to get those players at that turn. I'd rather not lock myself in there because you never know who's going to drop to you there.
The last thing I want to say about Debo is that 5th round is kind of like a sweet area for wide receivers.
Very much so, but not Debo capabilities.
True. So are we leaning Debo?
I am. That's what I would do.
Yeah, for me, it's either Debo or Pittman. But yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, Debo or Pittman for me.
All right, simple enough. Hopefully that answers Jared's question.
Let's see if it pays off for him.
Good luck, Pinto.
I will surely get a text message reaming me out when the guy doesn't do well that he picks.
Oh, exactly. It'll be our fault. But if you guys want to reach out and blame us, slide in our DMs, just a tip, FFP, or if you have Regan's number, feel free to text them 24/7.
This is like the 6th question I've answered so far this year. The other ones just weren't, episode quality.
I love it. I'm getting draft boards sent to me. A lot of people doing their drafts. We got one every weekend, it seems. So it's pretty great.
I know.
But yeah, feel free. Just a tip, FFP, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that. And listen to us on Apple, Spotify, Google, and Amazon podcasts. Rate and review where you can. And watch us. Just a tip, a fantasy football podcast. Really should be in these next couple of weeks with our battle episodes. Next episode, we got a Civil War battle of superhero titans over here. Regan and Ryan, the Tagless Haynes, going after it. Tip attack.
So we're not talking muskets and stuff. All right, good.
No, not that bad. That's a violent, bloody, nah. Captain America, Civil War is what I'm thinking. Anyway, right now, let's get into Haynes' briefs.
Sweet sassy molassy.
I keep
All right,
forgetting
boys.
to adjust the volume to that. I'm sorry for your ears.
You don't like having Ray Romano yell at you from the
Wakes you
video
up.
or audio you're listening to? Sure it does. I love it. All right, so I want to go in a different direction today with the Haynes brief. We had a lot of preseason news, and I think the only way we can kind of approach this is like, is this hype or is this real? Like, is it something that we're going to see throughout the season, or is this something that's like totally off the ball and people are kind of just overreacting to it? So I'm going to do a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the most realistic outcome, 10 being the most closest towards this is total hype. First one, Patriots defensive front, quote unquote, dominating Panthers per Evan Lazar. Patriots defense reeks is getting better and better by the day. Is Belichick's onto something here, right? Is this real or is this hype?
So I'm going to call this a 4, and I definitely think they're getting better, but I think it has to because I feel like they're leaning away from the offense and they're going to put all their weight into their defense. There was a couple of fights at practice today, and it was all with the offense. Seems like the offense was kind of getting a little bothersome. So I think it's true. I think the defense. I think Bill's taking time into the defense and changing this up. So I'm pretty excited. I'm guessing Mac has other expectations.
No, it's an absolute 10. Get out of here with that junk. Yeah, I guess the fight started because Mac Jones went up and said, "Grab these nuts" or something. And Kendrick Bourne threw the first punch. So, yeah, I'll retweet the tweet I read about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's great.
Welcome to New England.
I will say, listen, year after year, we get rid of cornerbacks. We get rid of key corners, key pieces to that secondary, and we continue to have a pretty good secondary, pretty good defense.
Old and slow molasses.
Good run stop, though.
All right, next one here, Mac. I'm going to kick this to you. Dameon Pierce goes for 5 carries, 49 yards in the preseason opener against the Saints. That dude, one of those runs, what was it, a 15-yarder? Made a few cuts, cut it back inside, totally exploded. Narrative right now is Pierce takes over the starting job as early as week 1. What's the scale here, real or hype?
It's real. It's real. I'll put it at a 2 right now. They do have an early bye week. I think it's week 6. They do love their vets. They do love Burkhead and Marlon Mack. They want to give him a chance. So I'm going to say wait at least 4 weeks to see what shakes out with him. But you're right. His cutback lanes, his vision on the field is great for a rookie. So I'm excited. I'll talk more about him later.
You know, somebody in the offseason was talking about how high they were on Dameon Pierce.
Somebody was. Yeah.
I don't know if you were going to ask Ryan, but I was going to give it about a 2 or 3 as well. And that's based on exactly what Max said. I think you got to wait a little bit. I don't think he's going to be the number 1 week 1. That's all it is. I think eventually around week 4 or whatever, he is going to be the number 1 easy.
All right. I like it. And is that because you picked them, Reeks?
Yeah.
Snipes me.
All right.
I did. Sorry, buddy.
Here is an exciting one. So Kenny Pickett, who has not looked great in camp per report.
This is exciting. Kenny
Pickett gets on the field. He goes 13 for 15. He throws for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Reeks, Pickett overtakes Trubisky as QB1 in the Steelers this year. Is this real or is this hype?
Yeah, this is about a 4. I definitely agree with that, but it's kind of like, do they want to throw him into the fire this year, or do they want to just throw Trubisky down in the gutters and let him just try to fight his way through the season? He did get first team reps with the offense in the 2-minute drill for the first time, so they are giving him a little bit extra work, especially with the ones. So that is pretty interesting. So I give it a 4, but I'm just not sure if they want to do it to him.
Mac, what about Mason Rudolph? Is he in the mix?
He did get first team reps as well past couple weeks. So Tomlin wants to make sure he keeps his streak going of having at least a 500 record. He's going to put the best QB that he can out there. They're going to wait on the rookie. Go with a vet.
I have a similar feeling, but Kenny Pickett looked good, man. Dude was throwing some darts.
He did. Throwing some darts. I'll give it a 5. Like, I can't decide.
I'm gonna stay in Pittsburgh here, Mac. I'm coming right back to you. George Pickens, 3 receptions, 43 yards, and a touchdown. It was from Mason Rudolph. George Pickens is the number 2 receiving option on the Steelers this season. Week 1 on. Is this real or is this hype?
Absolute real. 1. I'm going on a 10 scale. My bad. I was thinking 10. My bad. Pickens, I wanted him. We talked about that in our rookie drafts, in our dynasty episodes. I wanted to get him. Should have taken him earlier. Get him in your draft. As soon as you hit that 10th round, grab him because everybody's going to be buying into the hype, quote unquote.
Reeks, are you picking Pickens?
I don't know if I'll be able to get him because he's probably going to go earlier because so many people listen to this podcast. But I give it a 1.
Me.
And what Chase Claypool was right. He is the number 3, but what he meant was it was actually just on his team, so not the whole NFL. So he figured it out.
Absolutely, it was a win. It was like win-win, right?
Yeah, he's right. We're right.
Antonio, this is the last one, boys. And Riggs, I'm coming at you for this one to start the convo. Antonio Gibson, 4 carries for 2 yards and a fumble, plays into the second quarter, which is not the best sign in the first preseason game. Brian Robinson comes in, 6 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown. Fantasy community is real concerned about Antonio Gibson, especially after what was said during the offseason and now seeing what he did in week 1 of preseason. Real or hype? Are you concerned about Antonio Gibson?
I'm going to say 5 just because this one's tough. I think they kept him in there later on to kind of like get his head right and go against some weaker opponents. So, he can feel a little bit better about himself. But yeah, that fumble killed him. He's going to be in the doghouse beginning of the season. And I think it's definitely going to be a split backfield this year, whether it's 50-50 or a little bit more 60-40. We'll find out.
Matt Gibson has a history. He has a fumble history. And is he going to find himself in the doghouse a lot this year because now they have options?
They do. It's going to be a committee, and this will be the first time in his career he's not top 12 running back, unfortunately. I'm still going to buy the dip on him, though, later this season in Dynasty for sure.
Okay, I'm done.
I think Ron Rivera is going to get fired after this year, so hopefully a new coach can get the talent out of him more consistently.
I believe Gibson's contract is up, if not this year, the end of next year.
This is his 3rd year, so yeah, yep.
All right, something to keep an eye on. All right, one thing that I do want to know from either of you, I guess I'll start with Mac. Do you have any other standouts, any other performances from week 1 of preseason, good or bad?
Good or bad? Skylar Thompson of Miami Dolphins, the quarterback. He looked pretty good,
Oh
man.
my God.
So exactly what Mac just say, and my answer is going to be it's too early, and I'm not going to give him a hopes on anyone.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. I will say this. Treylon Burks did not record a catch. I don't even think he had a target in that game. But
No.
if you watch the film, he was getting open. He was running some big sprouts. That is overreaction station. So I'm still high on Treylon Burks for this year.
You just get his cardio in. No big deal.
All right, boys. I'm going to end it there. That was a good segment. And let's move on to the Hurt Locker.
I like it. Sorry I didn't mention the scales as much. Just giving my opinion.
See, I
Hurt
don't listen.
Locker. Yeah, I know. Regan listens.
Ah! 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 Ah!
All right, Regan, did we lose anybody over the first week of preseason?
Well, you know what? I got some good stuff in here. Bad news. It's a little bit of a mixed bag. So I'm just going to read a bunch of them off, and you guys can let me know how you feel at the end. See if any of them really up to you. The Zach Wilson one, everyone got nervous in the first preseason game. He did have orthoscopic knee surgery. Sorry, I was going to say orthopedic. Orthoscopic knee surgery. It went well. Everything went planned. They didn't see anything. ACL's intact.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going to be coming back until he's 100% absolute. So Joe Flacco I believe, is going to be the guy to step in. In the meantime, Rashad Penny was a fluke practice for after a slight groin injury. He's been milking this out for a little bit. Not milking it, but just taking it easy in general. And he's back in there. But his counterpart Kenneth Walker, little hernia issue. This just came out right before we actually jumped on this podcast, so we don't have too much info. Even Pete Carroll was like, I don't know what to tell you at this point. You're just gonna have to wait it out and see in the next coming days. That's actually pretty nervous. Makes me a little nervous because hernia, you might need surgery or something like that. Obviously, it's not too crazy, but there is definitely some time that he's gonna need to heal. So probably won't be there week one. That's what I'm seeing. Jameis Winston, this one's making me a little nervous.
Sorry,
Go
Regan.
ahead, buddy.
Dynasty, grab Travis Homer if you got the space for it. If you're depending on Penny and Walker, pick up Homer.
Well, my team that I took over is James Cook that I had to draft in the rookie league, so maybe I'll go grab him.
Yeah, you might need him first couple weeks.
Yep. So, all right, let's keep it rolling because there's quite a bit. Jameis Winston still day-to-day with an ankle injury. Started to do a little bit of I'm starting to get a little bit worried about him. They have not ruled out him coming back to practice this week, but it's still up in the air. Chris Godwin, guys, looking good. Took his first couple snaps. Snaps on 7-on-7 drills today. Actually today, he's not gone full speed yet. That's going to be coming up in the next couple weeks. They think he's on pace to be there for week one. Whether he's 100% or not, I don't think they're going to risk it. So, but they're saying all hands on deck at him in practice. I think this is a huge step. That was a very speedy recovery. So this is quite impressive. Miles Sanders not practicing due to a hamstring injury. Elijah Mitchell nursing a hamstring injury. I'll likely keep him out of all preseason games. I think we mentioned this last week, but I just wanted to make sure it was out there again. Darren Waller, he hasn't been around at practices, and we didn't know why. It was due to a hamstring injury. That doesn't seem concerning at all, but they've just been taking advantage of the time. And there was a couple other ones. The Browns, both their centers were put on IR. I have to do a little bit more research on if I believe it was their starting center. So that does not vouch well for Nick Chubb. So let's look into that one a little bit. But their backup also went down with a knee injury on IR. So
great.
According to the Patriots, they put Butler on the IR, their cornerback. And since they put him on before they made cuts, he cannot come back this season. So I'm guessing that's the same case for the Brown centers. So not too good. That clears it up. There was a couple other little ones, but nothing that really jumped out and made me actually think we needed to talk about it. So is there anything in here, guys, that you guys are freaking out about? I think definitely the groin injury for Ken Walker. Miles Sanders, Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell, how unusual. 49ers running backs injured. Like Ryan, any of these jump off at you, or are you just like, we got time?
I will say you got a little bit of time, but these soft tissue injuries right now, it makes me a little nervous because now those can roll into week 1, week 2, week 3, and before you know it, you're without an Elijah Mitchell for 3 weeks or a Rashad Penny for 3 weeks, and that can hurt you in the long run for sure.
All right, just to throw one more out there after you said soft tissue injury, I did remember that Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson both have soft tissue injuries and are not practicing this today. So let's keep an eye on that. It didn't seem anything crazy. I bet you it's probably a couple like dead legs, bone bruises, and they're kind of just like letting them relax a little bit. So still really early, and they also want to see what their rookies are all doing. So just keep an eye out. It sucks. This sucks so bad.
You
good with this, Mac, though?
Yeah, I'm just all out on Waller, too. I just think he's going to be very limited. It's going to be nagging them all, at least for the first half of the season. So I would avoid
Boston
him.
Morrow, very productive last year.
Absolutely.
Very, very productive.
Absolutely. Check your waiver wire. All right, guys. Thank you for that, Regan. That was a mouthful. You all right there? You drink?
I was gonna say it, but I'm not gonna.
It did good. That was quick.
That was great.
A lot of pressure.
We gotta get
nice
through
and quick.
fast.
I love it.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So let's stop wasting time. Let's get to the rest of our QB thoughts, QB rankings,
QB wrap up.
That's the closest drop I had for something like this. So,
I made it.
Ryan, what do we got for QB wrap up? What are we going to go through here?
Yeah, we're just gonna go over some preseason awards, if that's what you want to call them. Just some calls early on here. So we're gonna pick out a sleeper, each of us. We're gonna talk about a guy we think is gonna bust this season, comeback player of the year, and who we think is gonna be the best rookie quarterback of this class, not to be confused with rookie of the year. So each of us, I guess, will go through the sleepers right now. We'll just work down the list. So Reeks, who do you got as a sleeper here?
So sleeper right here for me, I think this was a little bit pretty easy, other than the injury news I just told you about him, but it's Jameis Winston. I'll make it short and sweet for me. Shitload of weapons: Thomas, Olave, Landry, Kamara. This guy has everything right at his fingertips, and he's made Mike Evans, he's made Chris Godwin at the same time fantasy relevant. He can easily make at least 3 of these guys very fantasy relevant, and I'm excited to see what he does with it now that he has the ball in his hands the whole time. He's not having Hill step his way, or hopefully not another injury. So I think this is a pretty easy one. You're getting him super late. I'm not really, if it's a single QB league, I'm probably not even drafting him, but he's a great play in a 2 QB league. So I love that.
You can get him late too, in that.
Very.
Yeah, without question. Huge value there with Jameis Winston this season. Mac, your favorite guy here. Who do you got?
Tua. I'm pivoting. I'm sorry. I've said it a ton.
Oh my God.
Jared Goff. He's been a top 12 QB in the past. In Detroit, go back and listen. Got a good foundation. He has no competition behind him, so I'm not worried about him getting benched. Small sample size, guys, but Anthony Lynn, once he was relieved of play calling last year, Jared Goff was QB 8, 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions on that final stretch. So keep an eye out for him on the waiver wire or bye week filler for you. See if he gets hot.
Love it.
Where do you have him ranked?
Where do I have him ranked? You got to do that to me right now.
Tell you where
I have him 19th.
25th.
All right. Little off there. Little off.
He's a sleeper though, so that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right, my guy here. I'm going to the Bay, Trey Lance, and I'm going to Trey because he's a dual threat quarterback. I'm sure our friend Alan would like to hear this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
dual threat quarterbacks always have an easier path to the top 12, more so than traditional passers. And this guy's got all the weapons in the world. He's got Debo, he's got Brandon Ayuk, he's got Elijah Mitchell, he's got George Kittle. Like he's got a good O-line. He's got the right system, so he can certainly exceed expectations. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 10. I wouldn't be surprised if he's even higher than that this season. So keep an eye on Trey Lance here, and you can get him late. Mac did it in one of his drafts.
I did. 10th round. I could have waited another one, but I didn't want to take a chance. I don't know if he qualifies as a sleeper anymore, Ryan. Been getting a lot of hype out of camp.
Sure has.
Design runs for him, some nice bomb throws. So, yeah, you might have to get him before the double-digit rounds.
That first week draft really played in your favor there, Mac. First week of August.
That's why I'm actually a big fan of I'll take the injury risk instead. I'd rather get the guys at a better value.
Agreed, wholeheartedly. Reeks, I'm a big fan of your bust here.
Oh,
What do
yeah?
you got? Yeah.
Even though I drafted him, in like the 10th round in our other league, actually later. But my bust is Aaron Rodgers, guys. And I think just his name, other than our draft, it was weird. It's like they knew that I picked him, but picked him for my bust, but he didn't go very early, and he was just sitting out there. He lost all his weapons, and meaning Devontae Adams. That's his one weapon. Yes, I know he goes to his running backs, Aaron Jones, whatsoever, but he uses like no other wide receivers. This guy was his main goal line target. The guy is going to be lost without him. I think he'll do okay in general, but I don't think he has a chance to be in the top 10 without such a predominant player that he relied on every single play. So, and he's got rookies that he hates working with. He's got Randall Cobb that's like 55 years old. It's just not cool. I think this is going to become a running team.
Nothing but praise for Romeo Dobbs from Aaron Rodgers, though. He's the next big thing.
He has to. Don't quit on me.
I don't get why Aaron Rodgers is not suspended for tripping on acid, but players can't smoke weed, apparently. Doesn't make sense to me, guys.
It's really ass backwards.
Yeah, it is.
Mac, your QB7. Explain to me why he's a bust. Go ahead.
He is a bust according to the expert rankings, is what I'm talking about. QB2, Patrick Mahomes, ADP at the end of the 3rd round. Guys, I don't think he will be able to sustain his success. He has way too many new weapons that he has to get on the same page with. He doesn't have that rapport with his other receivers. Byron Pringle, you didn't really start him, maybe a couple weeks last year. He lost him to Chicago, losing Tyreek Hill. All he has of his vets is McCole Hardman. Do we have much faith in him? And Travis Kelce, who I'm hoping gets 200 targets, taken in the 2nd round this past weekend. So,
and Juju.
And I'm saying the guys that he is used to playing with. So now he has to get used to the same timing with Juju, which they're looking good. They are looking good. I haven't seen much of MVS though in training camp, so that has me a bit worried. Fade him. I wouldn't bother with MVS. Pivoting from that, but yeah, in the 3rd round, I'm not drafting him. If he does drop, okay, maybe 5th round, take a chance on him, but I just don't see him sustaining top 5 upside. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I know we talked about this last week during our quarterback battle, but I have him at 4 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he slipped just a little bit. Because it is a new offense, new weapons, and he's got to get used to that. And MVS, I'm with you there.
Apparently, their own line is doing really well, so that's much better than what he's been having to deal with scrambling around the past couple seasons. And we all remember the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay and how he had to do that. So they've upgraded that. But yeah, I don't know what qualifies as a bust. I'm thinking of round.
If he's out of the top 5, if he's a bust.
Is he a bust out of the top 5? Okay, I was thinking out of the top 10, but all right, I'll take top 5. You want to bet on it?
Okay.
He's out of the top 5.
Oh,
Season end. Season end.
I think he's a bust in round 3 in single quarterback leagues, even if he's quarterback 1. Quite honestly. All right, my guy here, Dak Prescott, currently quarterback number 8. And I'm not sure why he's still continuing to get all this hype. I get it's a very pass-heavy offense, but when you're looking at the likes of Jalen Tolbert and TJ Vasher as your number 2 and 3 options, I think that's a bit concerning for any quarterback. And CD, he's shown flashes, but he hasn't put it all together consistently. Now he's going to have that number 1 corner. He's going to have that he's going to have a lot of attention on him. I just don't see it for Dak this year. Honestly, I could see him slip into like 14 or 15 here.
No. They're going to pass a lot, but yeah, we'll see. I like the call.
Not if they have two 1,000-yard rushers. You never know.
That could easily happen. Maybe not easily, but could happen. Regan, comeback player of the year. What do you got?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy one, and it's Russell Wilson back on a team with, I don't know if you guys remember, what did I call him last time with the Legion of Boom? Yeah, he did so well with a great offense, a great defense. I mean, getting on the field, having more opportunities. He's now back on a team with a great defense in Denver, with great weapons. He has 2 very reliable running backs that are above average and better than most number ones on other teams. He's got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. He has everything he needs. The coaching staff has come out and said that they're going to let Russ cook. I don't think they use those exact words because probably plagiarism or something like that. But
let's ride.
In general, I think this is a pretty easy one. What do you guys think?
I love it. I grabbed him in the 9th round. I wanted that stack with Sutton. I'm all for him. I'm all for him. I think I'm too low in my consensus rankings with Russell Wilson. So
I think with quarterbacks, I think it's one of 2 guys here. And Mac, I think your guy is kind of who I'm thinking of next.
Who's my guy? Lamar Jackson. He finished as the QB 15 last year. I'm projecting him at QB 6 right now, but he was the QB 7 through week 13. Then he got injured. So a lot of people I think are sleeping on him. So I think he makes that at least 7 spot comeback, possibly even more. He might make the top 5. Yeah. He's a QB you can get that could actually be the QB 1.
I would agree. I would just wish he had another reliable receiver. He has Bateman. He has Andrews, which is great. I love it, but I just wish they didn't get rid of Hollywood Brown or something like that. That trio would have been amazing. And then with him running, I maybe might have not liked their wide receivers with the split, but he would have been unstoppable. So I definitely see this as a possibility still, without a doubt. The guy's an athlete and a half, and still looking for a contract. So.
You're not on board with the James Proche hype?
Who?
He's on the hype train, man. It's looking
cool,
for shit in camp. He's got a little soft tissue injury going on right now, but he's been looking good, impressive at camp.
Yeah, well, he's gonna get off at the wrong train station. All right.
He might. I do agree. I agree with both of you guys here. Just because of my rankings, I have Russ ranked 3rd right now. I have him getting about a 13 position bump or whatever slot bump this year over Jackson's 10. I got him going from 15 to 5. So I'm gonna go Russ for the very reasons that Reek said. But Mac's right. Lamar could be number 1 easily.
Yeah, Russell would be my second choice for sure. I'm thinking new offense. It might hold him back just a bit.
It could. It certainly could. Reeks, this is what everybody's been waiting for. Best rookie quarterback.
This is literally the hardest one too. I'm gonna go with Kenny Pickett, and I think it's really based on I think he's the only one that's gonna get a chance this season. You got Ritter in Atlanta. I wanted to sway him just because I like the opportunities a little bit better there, but I don't think he can beat up Marcus Mariota. And everyone hates Mitchell Trubisky. Sadly, I don't know why, but it just seems to be a thing. It's sad. He's just not that good. So I think it really is just based on him getting the opportunity.
Mac
That's it.
disagrees with you.
He's got great offensive weapons. You can't beat him about that, but he has a horrible offensive line. So we'll see how that treats him.
That's true. Desmond Ridder is who I'm going with, so I don't know why you're throwing shade at him. I don't think Marcus Mariota.
All right.
Atlanta's going to be getting a top 3 draft pick. They have to see what they have in Desmond Ridder. Or they have to show off and treat him like Josh Rosen and trade him after a year.
Oh, God.
We'll see what happens. So I think him throwing, hopefully Drake London stays healthy. Get back out there. And Kyle Pitts, he's going to make some big plays. So I'm banking on him because he'll probably be out there for a trash team sooner rather than later.
You can't.
I like Max.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Reeks. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you can't knock me on them both having pretty good weapons.
No, absolutely.
Both QBs. It's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, Ray?
Yeah, I was going to say, I like Mac's logic here. I do think because Pittsburgh put so much stock into draft stock into Kenny Pickett there with the first round pick, they're going to keep him. Where Atlanta does have to see what they have with Desmond Ridder. So at a certain point in the season, he's going to get his chance and we can see what he has. But at the same time, if Kenny Pickett keeps up his 88% completion percentage there in the preseason, he might get a shot earlier than what we all expect. So we'll see what happens there. I'm going to say Desmond Ridder as well, though.
Not Malik Willis.
No, but you know what? Malik looked okay. He definitely looked like he's got a lot of things to work on, but he looked
absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. He made some good throws, some good runs, but then some other moves that he needs to work on. So some risky plays that won't work in the regular season. I noticed how you wrote on the doc Rookie of the Year for me, so I like what you did there. We're not talking about that though. All right.
Surprised you didn't write Zach Wilson.
He's not a rookie anymore.
Mulligan.
Can I get a mulligan on that? All right, let's go through the QB consensus real quick for the takers out there. Josh Allen, number 1. Ryan, you have a number 2, you idiot. I don't know what you're doing. You don't think he can repeat 3 years in a row at the number 1?
No, here's what I think. I think Josh Allen has 2 games against the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots where they might be coasting towards the end, where Justin Herbert's going to be in some serious shootouts in the AFC West.
Or that will be Josh Allen going for the MVP title, but we'll see.
Just touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. Justin Herbert, Regan and I have him at 2. You have him at 1. So, all right. I don't hate it. No, way off. This one we're off. We already talked about Patrick Mahomes, number 3 in our consensus. Tom Brady, guys, are we worried about his O-line and Tom Brady not being at practice right now for personal reasons?
Nope.
It was at number 4. I'm a little worried, man. I might be dropping him. But the good thing is their defense sucks, so they'll have to be passing a lot. As long as he can have some time. He needs at least 2.5 seconds.
2 seconds.
2.5. 2.5. That's what he needs.
Oh, God forbid.
The wide receivers are Julio Jones and Mike Evans, who are getting old. So, Kyler Murray, number 5. Ryan, you're the low guy on him. Number 7. DeAndre Hopkins is going to make him hit that bad, huh?
I mean, it's certainly possible. His numbers weren't overly impressive without Hopkins last year. And then the dude's always like nursing a shoulder injury like week 10, and then his stats kind of taper off anyway.
Yeah, he was the number 1 for the first half of the season, though. So we'll see. Lamar Jackson, number 6. Russell Wilson here. Ryan, you have number 3. Regan, you have a number 10. We should have a QB battle with this. Regan, explain yourself. Number 10, and you have him at comeback player. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, well, because he was like 40 last year. I'm just surprised he can beat out Josh Allen, Herbert, Mahomes, Murray, Lamar Jackson, just to name a few. That's pretty impressive. I just don't see it.
He hasn't behind Allen and Herbert, so
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is 6-point passing touchdown. We are recording on what day is it? August 16th. I didn't mention that at the top, so read the
Say it
description.
at the end.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's listening right now. It's all good. So that's number 7 there. Number 8, Jalen Hurts. I'm the high guy on him. Number 3, Ryan at 9, Regan at 11. You guys don't believe this offense, man? He looked good in preseason.
He looked good.
He did. He did.
Against second stringers, but still.
Yeah, but he didn't have AJ or Devontae, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah,
No, he
it was
didn't
like
have
Quez
AJ.
Watkins who caught the touchdown. So, yeah, and then he got the hit out of bounds. So, got to be careful with that guy. Matt Stafford at number 9. It's basically where we have him, except Regan has him number 6. You're not worried about his elbow?
Nope. Was at practice today. Looked good, and he's practicing again tomorrow. He's back.
Guess he had to get some sort of injection in it, so he had to have time off for that.
Every day. He gets it in his back. His back's been killing him since it broke, or whatever it was.
It's gonna be in a wheelchair before he's 50.
Still slinging it at the cup. Sorry.
We'll see. Drop it in the cup. Aaron Rodgers, number 11. It's basically we're all in consensus on that. Kirk Cousins sneaking into the top 12, guys. I am sorry. I am at number 9. I have number 9. You guys have him at 14. And he is currently available on the waiver wire in our league.
I saw that. I already have Rodgers and Herbert. I can't go get Kirk Cousins.
I almost dropped Kenneth Gainwell, but then I saw the Miles Sanders news. I was like, I should just grab him just in case. And nope, I can't do it.
I want to make one counter argument to that is that he's at 14 right now, but we base our rankings off of quarterbacks staying healthy. Kirk Cousins never gets hurt, therefore always winds up sliding up a few spots.
Exactly.
12.
I just think this O'Connell there is just going to unlock, and he's going to get into the top 10 pretty high on him. So
hope so.
We'll see. Alrighty, guys. Before we get to leftovers, you takers out there, just like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Be much appreciated. And download the episode and share our tips with your friends and family. Hit us up, slide in our DMs, comment. We'll get back to you. It's draft season, so tons of podcasts out there. If you are listening to us, it is much appreciated. You have plenty of better choices, I'm sure, but you're giving us a chance, and we appreciate it. No, all right. You got like 5 better choices, maybe. So you got the time. Leftovers. Regan, you have anything?
Right before we got on this podcast, I was watching the ESPN fantasy show, and they're doing a mock draft. 12, I think it was 12 team or 14 team, and some guy took Allen Robinson at the 401, and Waddle was still there. Pittman was still there. I was like, what is this guy doing? I was like, this is it ruins fantasy. And some of their rankings I thought were just god awful. They had like Josh Jacobs at like 21. Zeke was at like 20. I was just careful where you get your facts from or your rankings, because some of them I just think they're looking for someone just like to pique your interest. Like, oh, why do they have it there? Let's do some research.
Clickbait.
Exactly.
I might have Josh Jacobs that low though. I gotta double check.
Here's my leftover. Everyone knows how high I am on Josh Jacobs and how undervalued he is year after year. And Yahoo in my draft grade just straight up bashed me for taking Josh Jacobs as my third running back. I'm like, fuck you, it's Yahoo. You know what? You know. You're challenging me. Challenge accepted.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
I got to my leftovers at the beginning, so guess I'll just do one more. Football season for high school starting up this week. Practice. You boys better be ready. Be out there with my whistle, yelling at you.
Blowing away.
I'm just blowing. Jesus. Blowing all over the field. And yelling. So I might not be able to record next week, guys. I might lose my voice. So
thank God.
Yeah, I'm already feeling it. Been trying to warm up the vocal cords.
A lot of blowing on the side.
a lot of blowing. Your mom was giving me lessons.
Oh man.
Hey, you did it, Phil.
Yes.